on this, or what? What do you think? I took a look at the guy. He doesn't look like he's on.
I would just prefer to blame a psychotic asshole.
Okay.
Can I do that?
Sure.
Okay. Well, nice job, Psycho. I really don't know what to do with something like this. Did he killed himself?
He killed himself, yeah.
Awesome. At least he did the taxpayers a favor.
All right. What goes through someone's mind that they feel the necessity to kill their family? I don't even get it.
If you really want a human answer coming from me and being
yes.
honest, there's been plenty of times in my life where I've wondered what's it all about. There's been plenty of times in my life where someone else has gotten me so angry that I saw black and I got really upset and pissed off and I went to the deepest corners of the darkest basement in the cellar of my mind. I cannot relate to complete psychoticness like this, so I guess there's hope for the Pharaoh. This is just complete insanity. Who the F would do something like this? But apparently is it a virus? There's a lot of this shit going on.
Uh-oh.
Is this a spiritual psychotic virus going on? Don't say what. You think whatever you want. I'm keeping us nice and clean. Hi, YouTube. Hi.
Could it possibly be a... No, I won't say it.
No, don't say it.
Antonio Banderas' heart attack was one of the best things that happened to me.
What?
This is what he says.
Is that what he said?
I realize that it's probably one of the best things that ever happened in my life because the things were not important and I worried about every day about them meaningless.
Okay.
Antonio Banderas says of his 2017 heart attack.
Oh.
Thoughts on Antonio Banderas, who is married to, or maybe he's not married to her anymore, Melanie Griffith. What'd you think of Melanie Griffith? Did you find her hot?
She's not unhot, right? She's not Mandy Rose.
No.
Okay, just wanted to
Not
make sure
Mandy
we
Rose
got that.
hot.
Yeah, but she was definitely attractive. What do I think? Well, I'm glad that this was 2017 and not like this week. So that's nice to hear that it was several years back. But doesn't that make sense, though? When you get a life and death situation with your health, you tend to reevaluate. Isn't that the normal thing to do? And then what do you usually do? About 6 months pass, you feel a little bit better, and you go right back to doing whatever it was you're doing.
That would be my story.
Well, it was mine, too.
You were trying to roll me into that, right?
Yeah, I mean, it is what it is. He's Zorro, isn't he?
He is Zorro.
That's all that matters to me. The guy is Zorro.
That's like the worst
do it.
movie ever.
Don't you do that. No, he was
Zorro.
cool as Zorro. You don't like Zorro?
No.
You know, Tyrone Powers thinks you suck. He just called in from like 1940-something. You never liked the Mark of Zorro?
No.
Douglas Fairbanks Jr., for God's sakes, played him in the
school?
1920s. It was a huge
Did you read the book in school?
America.
Did you read the book in school, Zorro?
Read the book in school?
Zorro.
I can't say that I read the book. Who wrote the book?
I have no idea.
I heard that it was Jim Phillips.
All right, listen, I want to get to my... Now you're calling out guys that no one even knows. Yeah, this is
It's your friend.
Start off bad on a Sunday. I'd like to thank the band that sings the theme song for Monte The Pharaoh and Jimmy Farrow, along with his partner Bart Griggs, make up the band Wisteria Hall. Wisteria Hall sing such great songs as In My Dream, This Life, Not Far Behind, and don't forget the theme song for Monte The Pharaoh, Riding High.
Bart, man!
You can find Wisteria Hall's music on the Wisteria Hall YouTube page. Hit the like and subscribe. Hear them on Spotify, Apple Music, or Reverb Nation. If you didn't know it, you are watching Long Island's #1 pro wrestling broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh. Seen on the YouTube where over 2 million viewers have seen us. And we got shut down and then starting all over again. Monte The Pharaoh Facebook Live page. Hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Anchor, or see us on the Monte The Pharaoh Twitch TV page where you'll see our special guest Maven, who's sitting on a couch waiting for this rhetoric to get over with. If you're lucky enough to live in New York, catch us on Channel 115 every Tuesday at 7 p.m. and Saturday at 9:30 p.m.
9:30.
And on Channel 20 at 7 p.m. Mm-hmm. We want to thank our new sponsor, Manscaped. Have you tried the new equipment that's been sent?
I'm afraid because it says Weed Whacker. I'm scared.
Maven, Manscaped. What are you thinking about Manscaped, dude?
Love it.
What do you use it for?
Necessity. What don't I use it for? Put it this way. The only hair I have on my entire body is these eyebrows that you see. These caterpillars racing to the middle of my nose. That's it.
That is it.
That's all I have. And that's all I want. Manscaped is a must.
We were talking before the show. There's nothing worse than just hair.
Yeah.
Right? Hair on a woman, hair on a man. It's just bad.
Absolutely. And it's the one thing that the older I get, it starts growing more in unwanted areas.
Absolutely.
I hate it.
I'm going to ask you a question.
Uh-oh.
Just going to go out there.
Oh, boy.
Go for it.
You're doing a deed.
Yes.
Again, I don't want you to have to admit this because as men, we try not to admit this. But if you're going to go do the deed on a woman, would you rather have her be hairless or a little hair, racing stripe, or full retro bush?
Racing stripe.
Retro bush is out.
Yes, thank you.
Retro bush is out.
Yeah.
I don't mind a small, well-manicured landing strip. Every now and then, if it's completely, and I'm talking like baby's ass bald, then I start. Where is that pedophilia line? I don't want to wander into that.
That's very interesting. Like that. I never thought about that. You're a smart dude. Holy shit.
So if the landing strip is clean enough for the plane to go in smoothly, you're cool with that?
If the landing strip has, like I said, well manicured, you can see both sides. It's not
like blinking lights on both sides of that.
I don't want, I don't want the shrubbery going off into unwanted areas on that.
Gotcha.
As well.
Oh, look what you found. Ooh.
I got to be all honest though. Hey, the older I get though, I don't think I can be as
I found it.
Have you ever gone down there and she slowly brings down the underwear? Then
what is it?
Retro.
Absolutely.
You're like, whoa.
Wow.
Yeah,
like it pops out?
Do you walk out or what do you do?
No, I muster through. I muster up the courage to get through.
He's a trooper. Yeah. He's a trooper. Got to give him a name.
Not all heroes wear capes.
Yeah, I hear you. Listen, I couldn't say it. Well, if you have the same beliefs as Maven, does Manscaped could help you?
Absolutely.
The weed whacker.
Absolutely.
What are you thinking?
I'm thinking that I may have to, go in a room, close the door, and hang out with the weed whacker for a little while.
Yeah, I think you're a retro guy, aren't you?
I like 70s adult films, if that's what you're getting at.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
but with that, we're going to take a quick commercial break, and we'll be back with this wrestling icon, Maven.
We will see you in a drop kick second.
Drop kick. You need a body shop? You need engine repair? Auto Excellence. Collision Specialists. 631-261-6420. That's 631-261-6420. Auto Excellence. You want to star in your own success? Call QuickCast. www.quickcast.com. 866-7-CAST-NOW. That's 866-7-CAST-NOW. QuickCast.
Star in your own success.
Do you treat your dog as part of the family? Well, so do we. So why not celebrate your pup's birthday with the ultimate party box? Check us out on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook at Party Pup Info, and let us make your pup's party or any celebration perfection.
All right, welcome back to Long Island's #1 pro wrestler and broadcast, Monte The Pharaoh, only seen here out of Indie Music TV, straight out of Long Island, on a special Sunday show where I was totally jacked for this. Very, very excited.
Yeah.
We got a 3-tour show, but none better than the great Maven in studio. Thank you, sir.
Gentlemen, thank you. You said wrestling icon, and I started looking around. I don't view myself as an icon. Thank you for the
So let me
ask
you this question now. I bet you, and I went to 10 people out there walking the streets, and I mentioned WWE Maven. I bet you 60% of the people know who that is. And I bet you if I said to those same 10 people, MJF, not one would know who that guy is.
I'm respectfully going to disagree with you. If you go out to 10 people out there, I would say maybe 1 or 2 might remember me. Then again, wrestling is such a niche business. Anybody that's ever said to me, "Oh, you're a celebrity, you're this," no. A celebrity is somebody my mom would have known. Wrestlers are not that.
But hold on, you also are a reality star too. Yeah. Think about that. Hey, look, I know a lot of people that watch Surreal Life. I was one of them, and you know what? Facts are facts, dude. People know who you are. I'm just saying. You know what? Here, I gauge things by my wife. Who you having on this Sunday? I said Maven. She goes, "Oh man, I love that guy." So there's a perfect example. Does my wife watch wrestling?
No.
Does my wife hate wrestling?
You guys watch This Is Us.
So there you go.
Well, first and foremost, I'm sorry.
Thank you.
You have to go through that. Well, I just don't view myself that way. I mean, I'm on the train going in and out of the city every day, and it might be 2 or 3 times a week that people recognize me. So
that's a lot. I think that's a lot.
I mean, yes.
I bet you put Stone Cold on a train, and I bet you maybe some more people might notice, but I bet you he could cruise on a train, people wouldn't say shit to him either.
20 years ago, I would go into a grocery store, and literally everybody would.
Absolutely,
But,
yeah.
you know, obviously with time, as time passes, you know, memories fade.
Hey, look at us. They wiped out our channel.
Right.
People forgot who the fuck we were.
We're fading right in front of you.
Right in front of us.
We're already ghosting.
You know what
Well, I'm glad you could have me on to go ahead and give it that extra kick in the ass out the door.
That's the spirit.
Woo! So, Maven, thanks for coming on the show. How's your health and how's your family?
Family's good. My health is good. Now, I'm starting to run into, you know, the regular normal stuff that wrestlers run into, the wear and tear on the body. My neck, my back, I mean, they constantly hurt. And when I say constant, I mean there's not one day I wake up now where I'm not in pain. That said, I would still have done everything I did. I wouldn't have changed a thing. I knew what I was signing up for. I knew it wasn't ballet.
Oh, so in other words, you're not like Mick Foley, who's now crying the blues because now his head hurts. He can't walk anymore, and he's going on social media. Oh, my life, I can't do anything anymore.
You don't think it was the match where he threw himself off the Empire State Building?
Yeah, onto a table. Now, Mick and I had vastly different careers, and I have nothing but for respect for his in-ring work.
Oh, sure.
And the ground that he laid. Sure. I know for me, at 46 now, everything hurts. But here's what I hate, and when I say hate, I mean with a passion. It's when I see any athlete get on in their 50s and they say how much they would have done something different if they would have known differently. No, you wouldn't have, because when we're in our 20s, when we're young, and when somebody's flashing money and fame in front of you, your blinders are up. Right. And you have tunnel vision, right. And you're going to do whatever it takes to get both.
Right.
I will still admit it. There's nothing I would have done back then that, knowing what I'm going through now, I would have changed.
So what you're trying to say when Mick Foley says he did this for the fans, really he's full of shit. He did it for himself, and he did it for the money, right?
Anybody that stands up there and says that they did it for the fans, I'm not saying that they didn't do it for the fans. The fans is probably a byproduct of it,
of course.
But the fans, anybody that says that they did do something for the fans, it's because of the feeling that we elicit from that fans chanting, from the fan reaction. That's what becomes a drug. So it's inevitable something for them while doing it for the fans.
Right.
By the way, Rhonda M says Maven is one of my favorite people in the entire world. So see, I was right again.
There you go.
Am I always right?
I'll tell you why I agree with you and do think you're right.
Thank you, Rhonda.
If you line up 10 wrestling fans of today,
right?
Sure, I agree with you that they may go MJF. I recognize him. Mm-hmm. But I think what Mike's getting at is that you were part of one of the biggest eras in pro wrestling history where a billion people were watching.
Yeah.
So I think what he means is that if you just pull any 10 random people off the street, they might remember you quicker than they would the current wrestling niche that's watching MJF on TNT.
Very, very true.
That's what I'm thinking he means by this.
I'll be honest. I don't watch the products nowadays. I don't watch any of it.
Okay.
If you've watched 5 seconds of wrestling, you've watched more than I have in the last few months.
Gotcha.
And it's not that I don't like the product. Here's you might appreciate this. Whenever anyone asks me, whenever I tell them, man, I don't watch wrestling, they always, oh, why not?
That sounds like somebody we know. Go ahead.
And my answer is inevitably, I don't want to see my ex living her best life, moving on without me.
Boy, do I get it.
Yeah,
I do
why
get
do
that.
I want to get kicked in the nuts on a daily basis of something that didn't want me?
You truly loved what you were doing.
I did.
If you feel that way, you truly, truly loved what you were doing.
I loved everything about it. The good, the bad, the ups, the downs.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, the money.
I kind of think too. If you were like a multimillionaire, you wouldn't walk around with no teeth in your mouth too, right?
Right. You go to a dentist, right?
You would put dentures in, right?
I would do something.
See Mick Foley, even Maven saying, "Put some teeth in your mouth, clown."
Yeah, you can afford to chew the McDonald's. At least look good when you do it.
I'll tell you what. If I didn't have teeth in my mouth, that landing strip question, I'd probably broaden out my answer.
You certainly did. Maybe he should
then you start dribbling all over it, and then she's got.
Maybe he should get blinking lights on both sides.
Full bush? Sure.
Manscaped would have to come with like a napkin to clean it up.
The weed wiper.
You know what it is, guys? I'm the one wrestler. I'm the one guy that I'm going to be perfectly honest.
Nice.
Whether you like it or dislike my answer.
Nice.
Like, I hate it when guys talk about, did you take steroids? And they hint around or beat around the bush. I did.
Okay.
I did.
Of course.
I'm not sorry for it.
Right.
I wish I'd have taken more. I'd have done everything the same. And
nice.
At this point in my life, at 46, there's no one I'm trying to get the approval of, so why lie?
Very cool, bro.
Perfect. Being comfortable in your own skin, there's a lot to be said.
Tell me about your mom and dad.
A lot to be said.
Tell me about your mom and dad.
If you know my father, I'd love to meet him. So
Gotcha.
I'm all ears. My birth mom, we're talking about the 70s. I was born in 76. My birth mom, I was born in Nashville. She committed suicide the day after Christmas when I was 2 years old. So I have no recollection, no memory of her. My birth father, I could run into him right now. I would never met the guy. I was fortunate, though. I was adopted by my aunt and uncle. My birth mom's brother and his wife adopted me a few months after my mom's passing, and they became mom and dad. Growing up, I had a great childhood. My relationship with my mom was, I have tattoos, and they're all something for her. She was the one, if you remember on Tough Enough, she was actually on the show because she was battling cancer. We lost her in 2004, but it just goes to show, blood means nothing, because here's a woman that I don't share a drop of blood with, and she was the greatest mom I could have ever imagined.
That's awesome. I'm adopted, so yeah. I totally get what you're saying.
I had to, and whenever I tell anybody my story, their immediate reaction is, "Oh my God, I'm so sorry." Don't. I had the greatest childhood imaginable.
Do you still reflect on the parents you never met, though?
Never.
Wow.
Never.
That's impressive.
I have.
Good question.
That's impressive.
I have more of a desire to see this fictitious bush we're talking about than I do meeting my birth father.
Yeah, I got you.
I have no desire. I've never wanted to.
I got you.
If anything, I wouldn't mind seeing him for medical reasons. Is there anything I need to be prepared for?
Completely understand.
And B, what does he look like? Because
the
only thing I know about him is he's devastatingly handsome. Other than that, I know nothing.
Hey, listen, without being that way, you are a handsome. You
God
are a
bless
handsome man. I mean, seriously. I mean, I can't even imagine what happened out there in the real world. Speaking about the real world, you made quite a career for yourself after wrestling. You want to share that with the fans a little bit?
You know what? I was fortunate. It's weird. I get out of wrestling, and I was a little bitter when the WWE let me go. So I was doing a little bit of indie work, but I kind of wanted to just get away from it and see what other avenues I could get into in entertainment. I had a show on BET. Mind you, I've always assumed I was half black, but I don't know. But I had a show. I had 2 seasons on BET. I was able to host for the Home Shopping Network, which was the best job ever. I went out there and I sold NFL and sports merchandise for 15 minutes, 30 minutes at a time, and got paid an ungodly amount of money.
Crazy money,
wow.
man.
Ridiculous.
Really?
Mitch Seinfeld.
Could just be me.
Yeah.
It could be you.
Yeah.
But, if you're really good at it, which obviously you're a good speaker, a good-looking guy, you probably tore that up watching that counter go. Forget
Everything's
about
features and benefits. You learn that. What are the features of any product? How does it benefit you? You take that mindset into anything, I don't give a damn what you're selling. You can sell it. Features and benefits. It's the easiest way to look at it.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice.
And you worked for the Nets also?
I worked for, a good friend of mine, a guy I actually played baseball with in college, was one of the vice presidents for the Nets. He brought me in to do sales, and everybody thinks that COVID is the reason I left. It wasn't. The reason I left the Nets was because we signed KD and Kyrie.
Okay.
And after you sign 2 guys that are going to fill the arena, they don't have much need for you. And we literally we sold that arena out for probably 3 to 4 years.
Right.
And just my whole department gone. Literally, the people that I worked with at the Nets, all gone. I only know of one guy from my tenure there that's still active with the Nets. So I left the Nets, and then COVID hits. I had no clue of what I was going to do.
So I just want to spell this out. Are you telling me that your department was eliminated because they sunk all that money into those two guys? Or?
The department wasn't eliminated. The people in the department wasn't eliminated, meaning bloated salaries were eliminated, bloated commissions.
So they were trimming the fat. That's what I'm getting to here.
Absolutely.
Interesting.
And new ownership.
Right.
That was when the Russian owner sold to Josai. And with new ownership,
right.
I understand they want to do. They're going to want to bring their own people in.
Right.
I respect it. I enjoyed my time there.
But I'm sure that your staff showed up way more than Kyrie does for basketball games.
I had to have. I mean, if we showed up once.
I just figured I'd throw that in. Hi, Kyrie.
If we showed up once, oh my gosh. Is there anybody that you can...
Check stealer.
That makes it so easy to dislike.
Check stealer.
So easy to dislike.
Well, what? You're not into Nazis? What's wrong with you?
I don't know. I was always told growing up that they were bad.
Me too.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Me too.
The damnedest thing, I believed it.
Yeah. And the next thing you know, he's going to have a book drive for Mein Kampf. He's a great guy. We love him here at, go Knicks. Anyway. Good Lord. That guy's the most sickening athlete.
And you thought you were going to do a wrestling podcast.
I love the fact that
he's
I'm not.
Killing it. He's killing it. What are you talking?
If I owned the Nets, meaning I would be a billionaire, I would have no problem. Be like, what do we owe him?
Right.
Here, write him a check. Get him out of the building.
All right, we got to get control of this. Yeah. Maven, in 2002, you wrestled...
Armbar! Tell us about the armbar and its overall effect on the impact of a match.
Maven, what was the first thought you had with the first time you went out in front of a live audience?
Does the ring bell hurt your ears? You're so close. Why don't we go back to the very beginning of why we have you here on the couch? Tell us about Tough Enough and how did that work?
Why the hell is it? Yeah.
What was that?
I don't even want to interview me. I can't believe it.
Please be interviewed, please. How about Tough Enough? Where do we start with that? How does that all begin? Where we get to know Maven in the first place?
Honestly, it was a damn joke.
It was a joke.
I was a big fan. Okay. Loved the aggression era. Loved it. Loved The Rock. Loved Austin. Loved just what those guys were doing. And I literally would watch The Rock. I mean, I played college baseball. And I mean. You know how guys are. Yeah. I would cut promos on all my buddies and I knew I could run my mouth. Like I knew I had that aspect of it. And then you heard Jim Ross, one night on Raw, have you ever wanted to be a wrestler? And I'm like, yes. Like I have. And my buddy's like, yo, dude, you should for real make a video.
So wait a minute, but it's a Rock and Austin that kind of drag you. It's not like Hogan back in the 80s, that type of thing. It's those guys.
So it's the Rock Austin thing.
I actually grew up watching Mid-Atlantic. I grew up on the NWA, more like the Four Horsemen.
Oh, so you're a traitor.
Wait a minute, though. Where were you watching? Were you watching this here in New York? If you were, you're a traitor. But
I was watching on my television in Virginia.
See, he's safe, dude. He wasn't watching in New York.
I watched
he's watching in New York.
I watched it. I watched it in the Mid-Atlantic region. So not only was I not a traitor, I was home team.
Yeah, Gordon Soley for life. I got you. But it's the Rock and Austin that's sending into overdrive for you, though.
I think that's what those guys. I don't think they'll ever be an era or two entertainers that at their peak do what those guys did for wrestling. They took it to another level, a complete next level.
The ratings say so.
Not
just Stone Cold.
The money.
Right.
When I got up and fast forward in a couple years, when I got up on the full active roster, both guys. Austin was down, off the show doing house shows at the time, but Rock was still doing house shows for a small amount of time. And we would get paid. Yeah, we had a downside guarantee, but we would get paid per attendance. Mm-hmm. How much you sold out an arena. Right. On a Saturday night house show, meaning no cameras, we were selling out the American Airlines Arena in Dallas.
Sure.
I was making $7,500 a week because Rock was drawing those houses. When he left and you had different guys drawing the houses, cut those paychecks by 3/4. Seriously.
Wow.
Yeah. So
that's a chunk.
That proves to me what those guys meant to the business.
Right.
But I sent a video in because as a joke, thinking there's no way in hell they're going to pick me. Why would they? And I got a call. I was a school teacher. I was teaching 6th grade at the time, which tells me there's something drastically wrong with our system if they let me teach kids. But
this is a landing strip, kids.
Kids, kids, right hand for landing strip, left hand for full bush. Okay.
Blinking lights straight on both sides.
Timmy, you can't have both hands up.
Tuck the tongue in.
I know, Timmy. Let go of your ears. You know what you're doing.
Jesus Christ! Oh, little Timmy. Little Timmy.
I got.
Thank you, Uncle Maven. Like this, Mr. Maven.
Oh God! I'm gonna get a call from the district out there. There's some things we needed to talk to you.
Yeah.
We're
moving you up to ninth.
I went to Tough Enough thinking there's no way they're going to pick me. And then they picked me for the house. Because when I was in line waiting, I'm seeing a bunch of guys that look like Batista and John Cena. And just roid food.
But are they handsome?
But, yeah, there were some good-looking dudes.
Okay.
And I was
trying to help you out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, there's no way they're going to pick me. You know, at the time I was, I'm 6'2". I weighed about 200 pounds.
Okay.
And the fact that it's still a whirlwind, and it still shocks me that I was able to do what I was able to do with it.
What kind of shape were you in when you were auditioning?
Average. I can show you.
So it wasn't the Maven we know.
No.
Damn.
No. It was the guy who thinks he's in great shape.
Okay.
But he's probably in better shape than your average person.
Understood.
But he's no one that should be taking his shirt off for a living.
Not a specimen.
Dude, you know what? Think about it this. You could tell you were the star of that program at the time.
Yeah.
Well, I think I was I had the personality that they knew they could work with.
Right. Okay.
And I think, the wrestling's a different beast. And the reason why is because I don't give a damn how good or nice or whatever you are. They're not going to let you go up at a Yankee game and face 100-mile-an-hour pitching. I don't care how good of a football player you were. You're not going to be able to play for the Jets or the Giants. You're not. Right. Wrestling's the one career that if you have the right personality and a decent work ethic to where you can build yourself up and learn the psychology of the business, it's attainable. I'm proof. I was the fan that transitioned to an active WWF, WWE roster, superstar. Where else are you doing that? You're not calling up the Giants and being like, hey, I want to try out.
But think about the class you're in, right? You got Nowinski in your class.
Yeah.
Nowinski now is one of the major CTE guys.
Yeah.
I thought he was excellent, by the way.
You got Josh Lumberger. Now, why they didn't keep that name? Josh Lumberger ends up becoming Josh Matthews.
Yeah.
Right? Why did they keep Lumberger? Wouldn't that have been much better? It could have been much funnier.
A lot more you could have done with it in the comedy aspect.
But this is the most important part. You had Nydia. And I got to tell you, when they put those jean shorts on Nydia, I was all in. Fox on whatever time it was. Wife wasn't home. It was me and Nydia.
Landing strip. Horrible.
Hey, he's waving the plane in.
Yeah, he certainly was. Oh my God.
But you had some beautiful women on that show too. Yeah. So how do you not get involved? Good-looking guy like you. How do you not get involved with these
babes?
Women?
Oh my God.
Are you saying you don't? I did.
Well, if you did, then we're at.
He did.
There you go. Roll right into it. So, tell.
Yeah. I mean.
Anybody?
Go ahead.
You got some.
Did you hook up with Nydia?
Might have.
Okay.
Here's what I will say, and just because I want to respect.
Understood.
Their aspect of it. There was a in the behind the scenes the following year that they showed, and they showed two people underneath the covers, but they never revealed the faces. Okay. And it's we're doing it was after I think season 2, and they were doing something for MTV at the time, and they show and they're like, oh, dude, who is this? And I'm just sitting there because I knew it was me,
right?
And I knew it was
right
with her, but it was just. I mean, we were there for 9 weeks, and I wasn't dating anybody, and she wasn't either. And I think just eventually
she was so smoking.
Eventually, hormones take over.
I'm so jealous.
Do you need a few
she
minutes
was actually
alone?
a very. You know what though? She was actually she's a very sweet person too. Like as nice as she portrayed herself on TV, she is that nice. And for the guys, either one of those guys could have won it. I only won because I could talk. That's it.
Did you get $1 million for that?
God, huh? If I did, I'd love to know where it's at.
Oh, I thought the prize was $1 million.
No, that was the one. That was the Tough Enoughs after my season.
They screwed you then.
What'd you get? $20 in a McDonald's coupon?
Yeah, got a Target.
Doesn't matter. He got Nydia. What does it matter?
Oh yeah, you don't need a cash. You don't need a cash prize.
Wait a minute. Target gift card and a Manscaped ball trimmer.
There you go.
Hey, win-win.
Win-win. Nydia, help me out. I don't know how to use this thing. Perfect.
2006.
I won the my season. We won just the contract for a year, which evened out to. It was a 1-year contract at the time for WWE. They paid $1,000 a week, so it was about a 52. That came out to about $52,000.
And you paid for your own travel, or they paid for travel?
They pay for airfare. That first couple months while you're getting on the road to get ready, they help you out, meaning they'll rent cars and stuff for you. They'll make sure you get to and from the arena. But one of the big wrestling misconceptions is that you're taking jets everywhere. Nah. They're flying you someplace, and then your ass is getting in a Ford Taurus, figuring out how to rent a car and get to the next.
But to be fair, you just said it: $50,000 a year, 1 year. Now you're doing house shows. You plug it away. We'll just call it $10,000 a week, right? Because you may be doing Saturday, Sunday shots, maybe Friday, Saturday.
Once I got on the road, I started making more money than I've ever seen in my life.
So in the end, it's got to be like a $300,000 a year, $400,000 a year.
When I got on the road. The thing about wrestling, though, the whole thing with that is staying healthy.
Right.
Because the minute that you get injured, you go to your downside guarantee.
Right.
And my downside was still good. Like, I think after my first contract, after my $50,000, I signed like a $125,000 downside, meaning if I get injured, which I did, I broke my leg, that I'm guaranteed to get that. But you make so much more money if you're actually out doing the shows.
Now, how'd you break your leg?
Played baseball my entire life. I was doing a baseball slide. Wrestling Christian on SmackDown. The dumbest thing ever. And I slid up over top. My boot got caught on the canvas.
Right.
And I literally bent my leg, and I broke the shin and my ankle. And to this day, I can tell you when it's going to rain because it still hurts.
Now, this is going to sound strange, but as far as you did the hardcore...
Shocking.
I know. Coming from me? Do you believe this? Hardcore champion 3 times. You told me about, the downside stinks when you get hurt. Did the hardcore wrestlers have any clauses? Because they're hardcore wrestlers. When they made you a hardcore wrestler, you must have been like, gee, great. I got to go order a case of fucking Advil now.
No.
I mean, there's too bad. You're just a hardcore guy. That's the way it goes.
Maven was really enjoying this.
What?
Until you just pulled that question out of your
Now he's going to think about it. He's going to be like, this motherfucker.
Guys, I've had enough. I'm out of here.
Those guys fucking robbed me. No, I wonder about that. The
just
hardcore guys.
Walk out now.
Walk out now? With all the beer I bought you, you better stay put. Keep drinking.
No.
Anyway.
Like Vince McMahon did not run a democracy.
Right, of course
ran
not.
An authoritarian government.
That's right, baby.
You were going to do
Vinnie Mac. Wait a minute, you hear that? Boing. That was Mike just now. Go on, keep talking about Vinnie.
I love myself some Vinnie Mac, man.
And you were, if you questioned anything that he had to say, they'll find someone that won't question,
right,
and that will do it.
Right.
And there's no clauses, there's no extra pay, there's no nothing. However, and you'll never get me to say anything bad about the WWE, because when my mom got sick and she was battling cancer my entire run, and in at the end of 2003, she was put in the hospital, which the only time she would leave would be to pass away. They told me, go be with her. My checks came every week. They never bothered me, and I was out for 80 days with her. And, how many companies are going to do that for you?
Not many.
Thank you. Wow.
For them, it wasn't even a call every other week and be like, are you ready to come back?
Right.
It was how are you doing?
No pressure whatsoever.
And the night my mom passed, the night she passed, Vince called me himself.
Come on.
So this whole thing about Vince McMahon doesn't care about anybody.
He's heartless.
Heartless scumbag isn't true.
Here's what I'll say about Vince. He signs the front of the checks. I sign the back. He's a businessman.
There you go.
He's a freaking businessman. And how many businessmen do you know that are that successful that don't have a little bit of just, I don't want to use the word arrogance, but just overabundance of importance on themselves? You don't get to that level if you don't have a little bit of asshole in you.
And how about the compassion he showed you when your mom passed, though?
But he showed me the compassion when I needed it. However, if I would have went to him and bitched about, doing a match, I think I'm getting, there's a few too many thumbtacks in that match. No problem. We'll find somebody else that won't bitch.
Raven?
2006, you do Surreal Life. Now, listen to this cast, Pharaoh. Alexis Arquette, Cece DeVille.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
Steve Harwell, Sherman Hemsley.
Wheezy!
Tawny Katane, God rest her soul.
Okay, okay.
And Alexis Arquette also, right? He passed.
And Sherman.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Sherman passed.
Wait, you're about to read.
Hold 1 minute.
Wow.
Andrea Lowell, I don't know who that is.
She was she did remember the Playboy Network? She did some radio show or whatever on the Playboy Network.
Because I did watch this, I just couldn't remember. And then most importantly, Florence Henderson, which is just huge. Yeah. I mean, just to be on the show with Florence. Can you tell us about any experiences in Surreal Life?
So they brought me on thinking I was going to be the hook up with Andrea. No, she liked Asian guys. I was so not her type. I was the polar opposite of what her type was. This was funny. So, and Tawny was like...
I was going to say, did you hook up with Tawny?
No, here we go. So,
how about Florence?
Florence didn't stay in the house. I probably would have for the
notoriety,
the prestige.
Right? Hell yeah.
Here's the story.
Yeah. There's always there's always that lights off option.
Hey, Carol Brady?
Absolutely. I mean, that's straight. Yeah. Good God.
Where's Alice?
So...
Ow, my nose!
Oh my God! Oh my God! You and your bad, your lousy arm.
So they bring me into the house, and we're doing interviews to learn about what you think of the cast. And I informed them that Tawny Katane and her straddling that Jaguar was probably the first let's just say excitement I got as a young man, and I can't believe I'm in a house with her now. And
how'd she look back then?
I'm getting to it.
Okay, gotcha. Gotcha.
Yeah. Let it breathe.
All right.
So she gets in a fight with her husband at the time, and I want to say Chuck Finley, maybe.
Okay. Oh, really?
And the baseball player.
Yeah,
They
gotcha.
get into a fight over the phone to the point where I guess she says she's leaving him when she gets home. So me and Steve Harwell and I think Cece's out there at the pool. She comes out, strips. Fuck him, and goes and runs and jumps in the pool naked. And you see on TV, you see me look up, see her, and then go like this. And they asked me, they were like, well, you told us you had this big crush on Tawny. Why did you look away? I was like, because she looked like 180 pounds of chewed bubble gum. And they fucking played that for her.
Oh, they did?
And so I had so much heat with her, because she was sweet. Yeah,
tough getting old.
She looked different. Yeah, gravity wins.
She looked different.
Gravity wins.
That's why I try to tell him, when we were growing up watching old matches, right?
Oh, no.
It meant so much to me.
Stop doing it.
And if you ever on a network, you're like, oh, let me watch this Bob Backlund Morocco match, and you go, oh man,
what's with this armbar?
I mean, not
this
that
is
it's
going
a major
on
comparison,
forever.
but I think you just don't go back, right? You just want to leave the memories. Now, if Florence would have took her clothes off, jumped in the pool.
I don't want to say it would have been good, but Florence, she wasn't there enough to do it. Florence, only person that didn't stay in the house. She went home every night. She would show up just whenever to film,
right?
And then she would go home. She wasn't.
Was it scripted though? Is it?
No, it wasn't scripted.
Not at all.
No, it wasn't scripted. It's just people were there for paychecks. When they called me, what happened was they were having Cece DeVille on the show. And I guess they were going to have Bret Michaels on the show because if you remember, Bret had Rock of Love,
right? Yeah,
which debuted right after that.
Which, by the way, was a hot show.
A great show. Man, what a great idea! Let's have a bus full of
Surreal Life and Rock of Love.
Yeah, let's have a bus full of strippers and go around and get drunk in every city. That's sign me up. And so, but Bret and Cece for a shoot hated each other. I'm talking despised each other. So Bret evidently pulled out 2 weeks before the show. So they were stuck in a hard place. The casting director from my season of Tough Enough was doing the casting for VH1. I get a call. Someone needs, she called me and I was taking a nap. And I had just been released. She was like, "Do you want to do the Surreal Life?" And I was like, "Nah, that's the has-been show." And then she informed me how much, it's $50,000 paycheck. And I was like, "I'm packing."
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, I'm packing. It's 10 days.
Now, did CC get share with you, get mad? He goes, if he fucking shows up on this set, I'm going to rip his wig off or anything like that.
No. CC talk. Have you ever heard him talk? Because he talks like this, and he just talks so fast the whole time. And
yeah, he was I don't want to say he was annoying, but he was annoying adjacent.
So again, you grew up watching these people, maybe listening to music, again,
Absolutely.
whatever. But how do you not mark out for something like that?
I mean, a part of me does, but up at this point, in late 2005, I had been around all of the guys that I grew up, idolizing.
Right.
The Rock, Hogan.
Right.
Shit, first time I met Hogan, he asked me if I would, meet, Maven. He's like, Maven, brother, can you come over here and meet my son? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, because his son was like 11 or 12 and was a fan of Tough Enough.
There you go.
So at this point, there wasn't anybody I was really going to mark out for. But that said, it was still so cool. I mean, seeing, Weezy, seeing Sherman, and he and I used to, like, you lose touch with people, but he and I, a couple years, following the show, would call each other every Christmas just to, and it wasn't like a long 2 hours catching up. It was 3 minutes. How you doing? How's everything?
You'd get a Christmas call from George Jefferson.
I would, yeah,
from George
exactly.
Jefferson. That's amazing.
And it was like one time.
That guy's a legend.
Like one time, I'm just sitting at my house and like the phone rings and I look down and it's like fucking George Jefferson's calling me. Like
amazing.
Like little 10-year-old me that grew up in a 70-foot trailer in Virginia, like wouldn't have never believed this.
Right.
So
it's my holiday call from George Jefferson.
Yeah, just like
you've done pretty well for yourself.
It's
man.
just life. Life takes you in some different ways.
That is for sure.
And then Tony Katane jumps in a pool
and naked in front of me
and ruins all your
dreams. Here I go again.
Yeah, but did you see the splash on her cannonball?
On my own.
On my own.
On
there
my
you go.
own.
Oh, no.
Here I go again. I wish I was back on Tough Enough and Nydia.
So much for my white snake. Oh, sorry. I had to. Thank you. I got the drums and everything.
Wow.
Mike, who is this? I don't know who this is for this question.
I know, so then ask.
Okay, well, I'm asking.
Now, you could act like you know what you're talking about.
Bullshit,
I
can't.
really help.
He's honest, I'm honest. We got something going on here. Can we talk some pro wrestling, it says here. Shaza McKenzie recently. Who is Shaza? What is this?
Ask Maven.
Shaza is she's an independent wrestler from Australia.
Okay.
Who I met last year at WrestleCon in Dallas. I was introduced to her as like, this is your biggest fan.
Okay.
And come to find out, like, I'm now her biggest fan. I mean, this girl has got a huge following on social media, and I'm like very, very bad at social media.
She can't be that popular. He doesn't know who she is.
Well, I don't go on social media. It's not her fault.
Well,
this guy.
She's,
oh my God.
She's just like making a name for herself in the indie wrestling scene, and it doesn't hurt that she's just drop dead gorgeous.
Okay,
like just drop dead gorgeous. So
why didn't you tell me about her? I figured if she's drop dead gorgeous, you'd let me know that, Mike. I don't know.
The script.
It says, "Can we talk about?" It doesn't say.
It always amazes me. They introduced me to this girl, and they're like, "She's your biggest fan," and I'm like, I can't believe that like pretty girls.
Is Vince aware of her? I mean, what's the story with her?
I don't know how she doesn't have a job in one of the companies.
Okay.
With WWE, Impact, or AEW. I think it's a matter of time.
Well,
she will be employed.
She's getting
by
an extra
one
plug right now. Maybe Paul will watch it and be like, "Who's that?"
And she can work, and she's like she can wrestle.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, she recently, of course, stated that you are her favorite wrestler. And getting onto this resume, this is the Mark portion of the program. Brought to you by the Weed Whacker, Manscaped. PWI Rookie of the Year. Look, we grew up with PWI.
Right.
We were kids from the 70s and 80s, into the 80s, obviously, with the wrestling mags, when those were the center of the universe. PWI Rookie of the Year, 3-time hardcore champion. Do these things mean much to you as far as winning titles and accolades, or was it just like, it's
not
just
a thing.
you don't get an extra check for it, right?
Not a thing.
All right, congratulations. Here's the hardcore belt and $20 coupon at Checkers.
Like in my
Nothing.
Here's your Bennigan's gift card.
Yeah.
Don't eat it all.
Enjoy your headache and
I'm
see
going
the
to keep
doctor.
reiterating, nothing matters because
He was
Nydia.
with yeah.
That's all that matters.
You could have left right after Nydia. You realize that.
You're putting way more emphasis on the whole Nydia thing.
Yeah, he loves
Nydia.
I got to tell you, I spent a lot of time with Nydia.
Fair enough.
This is real.
Does she know this?
Was she there?
No.
She has no clue.
Wasn't even there.
She has no clue who
No
this
idea
fat, bald
whatsoever.
old guy is, but
Wow.
I did spend plenty of time with her.
Holy sprained wrist Batman. Man, that's rough. That is rough.
To answer your question, not a thing. It doesn't mean a damn thing to me.
Really?
What we did was entertainment. It's not.
Right.
I didn't win anything.
Right.
I didn't win a damn thing.
Right. Oddly enough, though, you've been given a nod, though, from the promoter because, look, if he's going to put a belt on you, he's giving you a prop. He's like, hey, okay. And when you win the PWI Rookie of the Year, you're definitely getting a vote of approval from the marks.
That's tough. That's tough enough. One being a success.
Is that what that was? Was that their only reasoning there? Interesting.
It has to be.
Interesting.
Interesting. Think about it. The biggest wrestling company did something for the first time ever. Whenever anybody asks me what I'm most proud of, it's the fact that there was a Tough Enough 2.
Right.
Because if I wasn't successful enough and Tough Enough 1, they would have never had a Tough Enough 2.
You don't get a sequel if you
don't. Exactly.
Right.
Yeah. So that's what, it was almost like we were the trial run.
Okay.
And the fact that there was a sequel means that I did something right.
Yeah, you sure.
But I'm not gonna go and brag. It's so funny, and God bless all these people that have their rooms in their house and their trophies and stuff. You walk in my house, there's not one thing in my house that says I used to wrestle. Not one. I don't care. I probably later in life will wish I would have. Well, actually now because I could sell that shit. But
right. There you go.
I'm just not. I don't give a shit.
No action figures on your dresser?
Not a one. Not a one.
This is unbelievable.
I have 2 action figures to my name,
okay.
And that's only because they were given to me within the last year.
Right.
And I haven't had a chance to sell them yet.
Right. Yeah. What do I do with these anyway?
Well, it's like I don't know. I
got you.
I love the fact that I get more enjoyment when people send me stuff to work. Like cards or whatever, and to be able to sign. If being able to make someone else's day means more to me than anything. I'm not going to look at what am I going to look at the PWI Rookie of the Year plaque and be like, yeah, fuck that.
Did you sell that thing?
Huh?
Did you sell it?
I never got it. They never
even got one.
Bill after.
They never even sent it.
Got lost in the mail.
I guarantee you though, if I had children, I would feel different. Yeah. If I had a little Maven running around,
right.
or then maybe I would just to be able to leave that to them.
Right.
But to me, I don't give a shit.
No big thing.
I don't give a shit.
Vince's most fond creation. He's been asked several times in his lifetime what he's most proud of, and
Tough Enough 1.
He'll always. Boy, he's really letting me down on this one. Sorry. Vince will always answer that he's most proud of The Undertaker creation and adores The Undertaker, considers him the greatest thing he's ever done. How did you feel tonight that you're actually most remembered?
Does Stephanie and Shane know about that?
Speeders.
Wow. I didn't think about it that
Bam.
way. I didn't think about it that way. No wonder Shane left. He's again. Obviously you're very well remembered for that 2002 Royal Rumble where you eliminate The Undertaker with the drop kick, and it was really a holy shit moment before holy shit chants was so prevalent. Being that The Undertaker is Vince's all-time favorite, what was it like when they broke you the news that night? By the way, this is the Royal Rumble, one of our big 4 that we've been doing for decades now. And you're going to eliminate, yes, you, young man, you're going to eliminate basically Vince McMahon's greatest creation in the history of his business.
It was, and probably for the better. I didn't know what was going to happen. I caught wind of it a few days early when I was in training in Cincinnati. They were like, we think they're going to fly you down to Atlanta for the Rumble. Okay, I thought, they're going to have me come out, do one spot, get eliminated. No big deal. But they want to have the Tough Enough Kid out. Because up until this point, I had only been on live television 4 times. They fly me in the day of. They never fly you in the day of if you're going to do something important. Because they want to make sure if you're that important in the show,
you got to be there.
They want to make sure you're there the day before. Yeah. They don't want to deal with, flight layovers or whatever. So they flew me in the day of. I got there around 3:00 in the afternoon, and they were like, go to the ring, find Shane. Fortunately, Shane was with Vince at the time. And when they told me, Taker looks down. Shane was with Taker, excuse me. Taker looks down at me and he goes, he's going to fucking what? And I was just like, oh my God, he's going to kill me. And I quickly found out was Taker had to sign off on it. And Taker knows what I hate in wrestling is when people don't want to do the job, meaning they don't want to put someone over. The only way we can be successful in this business is to build other people up. If you don't build someone up and you just squash them, what have you accomplished? Nothing. Taker knew that. Taker was building me up by giving me that one drop kick. That one spot gave me a career. It has been the reason that 20-some years later, I still answer annoying questions from people.
Do you remember the Taker spot?
No, I don't. But if not for that annoying question that I have to answer, if not for that one spot, I wouldn't have had the career I had. So where Vince talks about his best creation, it's because he did it for a man who wasn't afraid to create
for others. Yeah, for others.
And that's, to me, that's the wrestling food chain. And I being later in my career now, I hear all the time, or I have people hit me up and they'll be like, "You're the reason I got into the business when I saw what you were doing." And I'm like, wow, like if that's my legacy, I'm fine with it. If my legacy is that someone else can get motivated or just push themselves to accomplish something because they saw that I did it, hell, I'm happier with that than any PWI award or Hardcore Championship that writers wrote for me.
No, you made a difference in someone's life. And I mean, that's what we're here for, right?
Concrete difference.
God bless,
too.
man.
Yeah.
That's a great way to approach things.
Absolutely.
That's the way everybody should. Let's talk about something that's more serious. You did fall into the trap of dependency with some painkillers. How does that happen, and how does it become out of control for an elite athlete like yourself?
How doesn't it happen? I mean, we were on the road. My God, I think my accountant did my taxes one year, and there was one year that I stayed injury-free. I was only home. Now, home means I still could have had a flight home, but not on the road working. I think it was 102 days. So think about that, how many days, that we're actually out working. And, our job, people want to say it's fake. Yeah, you can't fake gravity. It's a physical environment that we work in.
Do you remember the first time it approaches you? Like, you're wrestling, you're a young guy, you're building a name for yourself. What is day one, right? So everybody knows the United States, right? We have a huge heroin dependency problem within the United States. And I always thought to myself, like, person's there's the moment, right? They have this opportunity to shoot heroin or smoke heroin or however else they do it, knowing that the minute they do this, they're going to be hooked on this for life. You've just signed the devil's contract.
Yeah.
Do you remember day one when you finally said, "Hey, I'm going to take a painkiller"?
Yeah, I do, actually. Fortunately for me, I never went down that deep of a road.
Right. Gotcha.
But yeah, I broke my hand and broke a finger in my hand. They had to, ironically enough, bring me out here to New York to meet with the Yankees hand surgeon who operated. It was a quick operation of putting my bone back in my finger, and he wrote me 30 painkillers. I'd never taken anything, and I had to fly out the same day to go to the next show because I could still wrestle with it, just tape it up. And I remember getting on the plane, and the first pill I took, I was just like, I'm on to something here. This is, I don't know where this has been my entire life, but I'm glad it's here now. And you know what? It'll be something that it'll be bad. I'll battle it until the day I die. And it's just something that I am not, I have an addictive personality, but there's some things like I could have this beer around me for all day, and I'm never going to have a desire for it. I'm just not into drinking. It's just not my thing. There's other drugs that people, in cocaine or whatever. No interest whatsoever. But painkillers, man, that was my devil.
So do you think this country is too free-willed through legitimate lanes, for lack of a better word, that we hand out this medicine too often and too easily?
Oh, it's money. If you can show me a way that, if companies weren't making money off of it, you wouldn't hear of it. It's always going to come back to money. And how can somebody make a buck off of it? And unfortunately, whether it's pharmaceutical companies or insurances, they have found a way to keep people sick and profit off of it. And as long as that happens, there's always going to be an issue. Because unfortunately, the shit works.
Right.
It works.
It does.
But, yeah.
It does.
Yeah, and I mean, it got the better of me, and like I said, it's going to be something that there's not a time, even to this day, I walk into a pharmacy, my eyes immediately go back to the pharmacy part of it, because I can remember countless days going in, going back and knowing I'm getting my prescription filled,
Unfortunately, this stuff is so prevalent in the pro wrestling business. Sure, after the first time you got a doctor's prescription, were you able to actually get it from friends in the business?
Are you kidding? Well, not necessarily from friends in the business, but when I was there, it was the Wild West.
Right.
I literally could walk into any doctor, and just tell them what I do for a living.
Right.
And they would write.
They were working with you.
Write whatever I wanted.
Wow.
Yeah, it was literally the Wild West. We're talking about before they put the regulations on it that they currently have now on it. I was going into doctors getting 240 pills at a time every week and running out.
And running out? Were those oxys?
No, just Percocets.
Percocets.
Yeah. Running out, literally.
Right. Wow.
Yeah.
We mentioned Vince before. Can you tell us the first time you met Vince McMahon? And we talked about marking out. You said, hey, at this point, I didn't mark out for anybody. Was that an intimidating situation with Vince?
That's the best word, intimidating. He walked into when we were doing Tough Enough, and we were actually in the ring, and we had to do a match in front of him. And, you want to talk about just fear. Because here's the guy who, he talks about creating The Undertaker. I guarantee you, just like the same way your heart felt the first time you saw Nydia, Vince feels the same way, I guarantee you, when he sees wrestlers. He immediately probably knows yes or no if he can turn them into something marketable. And just fearful. I hope he likes what he sees. If he doesn't, I still hope I get a chance. And then meeting him, he's like, Vince gets a bad rep, and I get it. I understand it. Man, he couldn't have been nicer to me. He used to, and he's got such bigger things to worry about than me during a day of a show. And he used to pull me aside, and I remember one time he pulled me aside. We were getting ready to go to Australia, and he's like, "Yeah, just when you get over there, just get your character over, and just be you. You're enough." And I was just like, this guy's got everything in the world to worry about, and he took.
But that's what makes him smart, right? Because he knows that guys like you are the future of his company, and he knows that he has to help guide you to become that, right? Because when you do, it's changed now, right? At some point he got smart and said, hey, I'm tired of having stars, and I'll make the company the star. But I think that's smart business. Vince, Stephanie, Shane. Does Stephanie have that same characteristics as Vince? Did Shane have those same characteristics as Vince, or no?
I would say Stephanie probably has it more than Shane does. Shane's Vince always wanted the son like Hunter. He always wanted the big, jacked up, great wrestler son. And Shane was a fearless, and could go out there and do whatever, but he was never going to be the wrestler that Vince probably wanted. And Stephanie had the business, just the knowledge for what the business should be. And, I don't know if either of them probably lived up to what Vince would have wanted. However, I don't think anyone could have. I think what Vince had in his mind as the perfect offspring doesn't exist. It's probably John Cena's body with The Rock's charisma mixed with Triple H's in-ring work. And that person just doesn't exist.
And they got to talk like Hogan.
Yeah.
So we're almost out of time. Before we get to Pharaoh's final
Thank
question,
God.
There you go. It's almost over. The pain free. Wow.
you taking a pill for this? Or no, you should have taken a pill for this.
Jesus. Oh, my God.
I love the fact. Hey, if I can make you stop and say that, my job is done. My job is done.
Well done.
Wow. What are your thoughts on the whole situation with Vince McMahon, with these lawsuits or anything else? Do you think it's fair what happened? Do you think it's not fair? Or do you really don't care?
I don't give a shit. Here's what I know. I wasn't in the room. I don't know what happened. I don't know what was consensual. I don't know what was wanted. What I do know is there's always going to be someone with their hand out. Always.
Mm-hmm.
Always. And I don't know. Huh?
I'd put my hand out.
Oh, absolutely.
If the price is right.
Oh, I've always said it. Like, I wish Harvey Weinstein wanted to jerk off in front of me.
There you go.
I didn't have sex with this guy. Where the hell did he come from? You don't remember me?
Now, that said, I don't know. Like, I can't know what was consensual. I don't know.
Right. Yeah.
You know, I do know that.
Did you ever hear rumors in the locker room like, hey, this guy?
I mean, nothing that was. I mean, my God, it's a wrestling locker room. Like, what the rumors you hear backstage are pretty outlandish.
Right.
Hearing that Vince is, fucking one of the girls does not fall under that category.
That's not outlandish. Like,
no.
Okay, yeah, big deal.
Right. That's
right.
Okay, what's for lunch?
Go, boss.
Yeah, like what's
Go
for
have
lunch?
some, buddy.
Like,
get some.
Like seriously, and they wouldn't have even like what?
Right.
What? Vince is banging a girl 30 years younger than him that's balls hot? No way.
I don't get it. It's Trish, Stacy Keebler.
You're kidding
There's no
me.
hot chicks hanging around here. What are you talking
You're
about?
kidding me. No.
Wow.
Like, it's just, and it's, I don't know. Like, and Vince has a program and something that everybody wanted. So I don't know what was.
And by the way, you think this interview sucked. Rhonda says this is the best interview ever. So screw you, Maven.
He didn't say it sucked. He just said, thank God it's over.
Well, I don't know. Maybe next time you know.
He's not watching. He's busy.
Maven in 2003.
Hey, Maven, you were wrestling the Hurricane one time. He did a drop toe hold on you. What'd that feel like? You have the prettiest drop kick I've ever seen.
You have no idea how many times
All right.
I've done shit like that.
Pharaoh's final question. This is unscripted, so it may be a Hurricane question. I am not responsible for it, but I want to thank you. You are fantastic, and you are the star that when I was a younger man, not much younger, but younger.
We're up there.
You saw that you were a star. You were a star. And when, like I said, I heard we were getting you on, I was like, this is a home run. This guy rocks.
Oh, thank you, guys.
So God bless you, man, for sure. Pharaoh?
All righty. Are you ultimately disappointed that you didn't get more of a push?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Okay.
100%.
Okay.
I know I could have done so much more, but at the end of the day, that's just not the way it worked out. And I refuse to live my life looking back on shit I can't change and neglect what I could do better in the future.
There you go.
I mean, you tell me anybody, name one athlete or name one actor, anybody, I don't care who gets done and says, I did everything.
Right.
There's nothing more I would have done different or
Right.
could have done or accomplished. No.
Right.
Everybody's going to wish that they could have accomplished more. To me, what to me was left unfinished to some indie worker out there working right now, man, he'd give his left arm to have that career.
Absolutely.
So I'm not going to
absolutely
for 1 second think that there was something. Yeah, I could have done more. I'm happy with what I had.
I would sum it up with, I eliminated the Undertaker, motherfucker. You got anything
I
else you
would
want to
sum.
give me?
I would.
You know what I mean?
Like I said,
what's your problem?
Like I said earlier, I'm even more than that. I'm more happy with the person. You know, Bill Shannon 205 from Arkansas. Hey man, I just had my first match.
There you go.
I trained for 2 years because of what you did.
There you go.
That means more to me than that.
And it should.
That means more to me than that.
I would sum it like this. Here's a man who lost his biological parents.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Overcame.
Yeah. Yep.
Became a top-notch professional wrestler.
Yeah.
left the business.
Was a school teacher first, by the way.
There you go.
That's the success in my book.
Overcame an addiction, which all of us go through in some form or another.
Yep.
Carried on his life in very popular jobs. Was a actor in some very popular shows.
Yep.
And still has plenty of life left.
Yep.
So I applaud you, sir. You are an incredible human being, and I'm glad to at least had you on this show. And thank you for giving us the memories that we had. And most importantly, to top it off, you had Nydia. And that in itself...
He eliminated The Undertaker.
Whatever.
Guys, the honor's all on this side. Thank you.
All right, Pharaoh, send us out. Thank you again, Maven. Thank you, sir.
You've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh, and wait a minute. Until what? We have another one coming, don't we? Do we have another show in between?
We have our show, then we got Mr. USA Tony Atlas and a very special pre-Christmas special where Tony has a special guest, and we're going to have some special things for the fans, and they get to
Tony's coming here?
Tony is coming here.
Yeah.
Tony's a close friend of the show.
Gotcha.
And Tony, I don't know if you must have heard the rumors, Tony enjoys shoes and to get him through life.
Oh, no.
And he's brought a friend.
Oh,
so he wants to give the fans a little Christmas gift. Yes. Tony enjoys this, and we're always listen on this show. Say and do what you want, brother.
Yeah.
It cost me a lot of money, but that's okay, right? We just have to start over.
I think we're gonna everything. Life has a way of correcting itself. I think we're gonna get back to the way we used to be eventually, because eventually it's gonna get so crazy and outlandish, and it's gonna just this over protecting of people is gonna consume itself. It has to. It's just ridiculous.
I hope so.
Ridiculous.
I think people, like you said, have to stop being so offended. Listen, I believe in anyone's right, whatever they believe in, right? And you can discuss it like adults, right? And I'm very high on religion, and some people find religion to be fake and annoying, like a fairy tale. I hear Bill Maher all the time putting it down, and other comedians putting it down. Does it bother me? Yes. Do I get all butthurt over it?
You don't try to censor them.
It is what it is. We all have a right here to speak, to speak our mind.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, that's what we hope.
I heard the guy, this was years ago, who defended for the ACLU. He was the lawyer defending the Nazis for putting a book out. And he was like, freedom of speech is, I hate everything he says, but I believe that he has the right to say it. Right. And to me, that's where I can hate everything about what someone believes, but respect that they have the right to believe it.
As long as you don't guide people to hurt others.
Agreed.
Right?
Agreed.
You could say and feel what you want, but don't guide people to hurt others.
Yeah.
I mean, that's where we all have to get past. We gotta stop hurting people.
Yeah.
And we gotta do a better job there. And again, that's where you've been fortunate enough. You are in a position where you still change lives.
I've seen enough of the bad parts of life to know that somebody writing something negative about me on the internet isn't going to be what upsets me. I don't give a shit.
Right. It's
irrelevant. I care about what somebody I'm never going to meet.
Yeah, it's irrelevant.
What do I care?
Again, I'll say it again. You should be pretty proud of the man that you are and become and what you're carrying on. So, I mean, people can say what they want. They really don't have a clue.
I'm going to need you to say all that again so I can get it on tape.
All right, with that, this has been Mike Monte.
This is the Pharaoh, and you've been watching Monte and the Pharaoh. Stay tuned for Tony Atlas, where you will experience...
Well, you got 7 o'clock show first, then Tony at 9.
Okay, stay tuned for the 7 o'clock show, and at 9 o'clock you will experience the thrill of victory and the agony of the feet.
The feet.
We'll see you later.
Oh, boy.
Later.